Good evening. I am Ajuri Ingilale, and you are most welcome to Africa's Future Leaders. On this edition of the program, we introduce you to a young energy specialist who is using energy sources not just to develop communities, but also to empower the next generation. It is another day at the greenhouse. No diesel generator, powered without interruption by solar energy. It is both a residence and a think tank for renewable energy specialists. And Akachukwu Okafor is a busy one. Launching a new project just days before departing on a 3-month internship in Ghana. There is little time to waste.
My career, I should say, started while I was still in the university. Very interesting. While in school, that was at the Nnamdi Azikiwe University. I was studying computer science at the time, but I wasn't deeply interested in the science of computer. I was interested in governance. I was interested in democracy. I was interested in things that makes the system work, not just computing. So I found myself reading all sorts of materials. I remember when I go to the library, I only borrowed books from management, business, politics, and all of that. And when it came to my final year, when I had to now read and borrow computer books, the library attendants refused to borrow me those books. They were of the opinion that I wanted to help people get out books from the library, because from my borrower's card, all I borrowed most of the year were things in the social sciences, which is actually where I belong, because I'm now a social scientist. I started volunteering with lots of organizations, worked with on projects that with organizations such as United Nations Department for Information, for Public Information, UNESCO, EFA, GMR. And part of the work I did with UNESCO was to author the 2012 UNESCO EFA GMR, which was the global report on education. It was actually that report that led the federal government of Nigeria at the time to start building schools for the Amajiri. That was during President Jonathan's administration. And while working around these different sectors, I came to notice that there was a singular problem that needs to be solved for us to achieve development in all these areas of development, and that was energy. This was where I decided that I have to do something. For instance, in Tolu School in Ajegunle, where I tried to see that the schools had good, safe drinking water. The power plant, not the power plant, the water plant there had the problem of generating water and supplying water because there was power deficit. When you go to education, if you want to equip a school with computer systems, you need electricity to power it. So I told myself, you have to understand what this energy issue is. You have to be part of the solution. And that took me to start studying about the Nigeria electricity sector and all the problems that we've got in that sector. And in 2014, I decided to travel and go study, do a postgraduate study at the University of Sussex, where I studied energy policy for sustainability. And what I did there opened my mind to the different possibilities of how we can solve Nigeria's electricity problem, energy problem. The solution we need is an interdisciplinary approach. Sometimes it might be technical in terms of just build power plants, transmit them, and people get electricity. It's quite far from that. And that has been my trajectory. And getting back to Nigeria, I had to apply myself after my studies. I started writing articles in newspapers. I started helping with policy formulation. I started pushing for projects that would empower mostly people that are off-grid, especially the poor that would never be reached in the next decade.
This Mandela Washington Fellow has built his career around effective networking and collaboration.